One of these tools is set up correctly and one of them is not. Now, I'll give you a tip. It has nothing to do with the color of the tool or the name on the side of it. But let us know in the comments which one you think is set up correctly. So what is wrong with this picture? Well, one of these bits just don't fit the tool. Not that it doesn't fit in the tool. Both of these fit in the tools just fine. Both of them have 1/4 inch shanks. But one of these accessories is not meant for a die grinder or anything with really any speed to it. And that's this one right here. In fact, this bit right here is what has caused a lot of speculation and comments on social media, on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube Shorts, of actually using this bit in this tool right here and it doing this. We'll see here. And people making the comment like, oh, I can actually feel that in my hand from here. Oh, that's meant for a drill and you're overturning that. Oh, things are going to fly in your eyes. And that's simply not the case. Now, this one here, we'll be very careful. Now, this one shakes all over the place and it's not meant to be spun at that kind of RPM. Now, that's the whole point of this video, or one of the points of this video, is using bits and accessories for your die grinders that are actually made for the tool. This one here, if we take a look at it, which let's do so. And by the way, this is the Gen 2 die grinder from Milwaukee, the M12 Fuel. And you don't need 2 wrenches on this one. However, like I've covered a bunch of times, and people still argue with me over this, it does have a safety collet, which means I've now broken that nut free. You can see it spin. And I don't need a second wrench because I have a arbor lock right there I can push to lock that in. That's loose. However, you're not going to get that bit out of there. I don't care how bad you hammer it, bang on it, whatever. It is, I lied. If I would have had that tight in there, it would not have broken loose, and that's what a safety collet does, because you're supposed to break it loose a second time, and then it will actually free up that tool. You can pull it out. Anyway, so just understand that these safety collets, which is on this one, it is on this Ryobi, but not on your typical air die grinders. Again, the safety collet, you have to loosen it twice. Anyway, back to the bit. If you actually look on your bits, you'll find somewhere on here it says max, and then this one says 4,500 RPM. So basically, it's meant to spin up on a drill. So most of your cordless drills are probably somewhere around 2,000, 2,500 RPM. So it's meant to turn a little faster than that. Maybe you can put it in a slow drill press or in a drill press. But anyway, it's not meant for a die grinder. I don't believe any of these die grinders actually go down that low. They start at somewhere around 10 or 12,000 RPM. So a lot of these bits are not meant for die grinders, but you can find that data on the accessories themselves. And if not on the accessory themselves, then usually in the packaging. And this one again says 4,500 RPM. Now, I'll tell you, if you're buying kind of these bulk products, you know, a 5-in-1 package or 10-in-1 package at your lumber yard or somewhere, you know, in the big box stores, most of the time, those are meant for your drills and slower RPM. Now, when you get into like your roll-lock discs, things like that, this is meant for 25,000 RPM, says right there. Again, knockoff products, they may not be able to handle that. But something like this, it is. Same thing with like your flap discs. Those are meant to go in your die grinders as well. So those are perfectly safe for here. Cutoff wheels is another one that works well in die grinders. But if we take a look at this one right here, much different. This is a twisted loop, not meaning that the twisted loop gives you the green light. But if you look on here, this is actually a Weiler bit, W-E-I-L-E-R. And if you look on here, it says 22,500 RPM. So it's absolutely meant to be safely turned to that high RPM. So does it vibrate a little bit? Yeah, it does a little bit. But this works great for like cleaning the inside of like bushing housings, things like that leave behind residue, or just simply cleaning up brake calipers, something like that. This is really good for that. And then obviously, like the roll-lock housings with the sanding pads, these are meant to go that high RPM as well. Now, some of these cheaper ones that, you know, maybe you get, again, in a multi-pack, they may not last that long. But I did want to show you. Let me tighten this down here. Use this a little bit. And just kind of show you here on this tool here, or actually let's go ahead and grab this one. So typical pneumatic or air-powered die grinder. It's got a sanding disc on it. Doesn't matter if cutting disc, whatever. Just make sure that your bit is made for that. But on this one, we can take our slim down wrench here. Aren't those fun to always find those? Try to find your little wrench when you need it. Sometimes they're always a different make. Anyway, all you have to do is break that free once, and that bit is going to come out. Now, sometimes when they get caught in there and you've been running them for 5 days straight, and then you got to take them off, many times sometimes they'll get stuck in there, and you can take them and just kind of whack them that way, and then they'll break free. That collet is much different than this collet. In fact, we'll take it apart. And we'll see, there's the collet nut, and there's the collet. Now, and you see that the collet nut just sits freely in there, just on that step, whereas on the Milwaukee, I can break that free, and you see that bit is not going anywhere. That nut is broken free. That is not going anywhere. However, I keep turning it out, and it gets hard again. Break it free a second time. Right there, it's tough. Break it free again. And now I can pull that out, because this has a captured collet in it. So this is what they consider a safety collet. It's been used in wood routers for years. However, it's just kind of making its way over into the die grinder industry on the cordless side of things. Not really seeing it much in the pneumatic side, but you can see a much different type of collet and nut. I can push that out, but you see it's got a stepped edge in there. So if this ever does come out and it's in two pieces, make sure you snap it back into the collet nut and it's retained in there before you put it back in the tool. Otherwise, it will get jammed on your bit. But these are two totally different styles of collets, and they react totally different as well. One you have to loosen twice to remove the bit, and the other one just have to loosen once, and sometimes give it a good whack with the wrench or whatever it may be to break it loose. And really, even when it comes to these straight die grinders, whether it be like the 12 volt here or the 18 volt or plug-in, whatever, these are still turning the same type of RPM, you know, somewhere between 10 and 20, 10 and 25,000, 10 and 22,000 RPM. We even have selections here on the electric ones. That is one of the nice things about the cordless tools. You don't just have to adjust an air pressure and hope to, you know, get a certain speed you need. You can literally, you know, press a button and select what speed you want for that bit that you're using. But most all of your carbide cutters like these are rated for the 20,000 RPM. So it's not like that these are going to come flying apart, but just make sure that your bits and that your accessories are rated for that high RPM before you go using them, because, you know, getting one of these little wires in your eye when you're using these things, or feeling them hit your hands and fingers and your arms, just aren't fun. They'll get caught up all in your clothes as well. And of course, these round flap discs typically are rated for the high RPM, and the cutting wheels as well. And even on the straight die grinder here, if I break this free, again, same thing. It's loose. Bit is not going to come out. Don't care if you hit it, put it in a vise, whatever. Loosen it till it gets tough again. Break it free once again, and then it comes right out. So if you're using a cordless or a battery-powered die grinder, probably has a safety collet on it. So don't ruin your bits and putting it in a vise and beating it to death. Just break it free twice. A couple of things here in finishing this out. Number one, when it comes to buying bits and accessories for high RPM applications, or you may even say industrial applications, automotive, welding, things like that, quit looking at your box stores for those things. Many times the typical grinding disc, flap disc, cutting disc, you'll find those. But a lot of times you'll find that you'll find better products and maybe even a better assortment of better products at your local welding store. Many times that might be your local oxygen store, things like that. So they may double in providing oxygen services as well as in welding gas applications. And then you'll find in there welders and welding accessories, industrial applicators and accessories, and you'll find these high RPM bits, and again, a better selection of some of those things as well. So that's a little tip for you to check those welding supply stores for the better products. Also, safety collets. I feel like we've kind of beat this thing down over the years. However, we continue to get comments on old videos about how we've saved people time and they've about ruined tools trying to get their bits out because they didn't understand that how safety collets work, and it just is what it is. You can argue with me all you want, but you can't beat it with a wrench to get it out of there. You got to loosen it twice, and then it will come out very easily. Hey, be sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and even TikTok. And if you don't mind, hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And by all means, if you hated our video, well, give us a thumbs down. But let us know in the comments why. Have a great day, and keep smiling.